Welcome to Trading Lounge and the indices, and starting with the S&P here. Just before we start though, Trading Lounge, we will be closed on Friday and Monday. In Australia, we have our exchange closed on Monday and Friday, the same in the UK. I think the US is closed Friday but open on the Monday, but I would assume there will be low volume there on that day as well. But any changes, we will have the chat lounge open on our site, so you can ask any questions, and I'll do my best to answer that over that period of time. Okay, so this is the weekly chart for the S&P, and as you can see, we're in a bull market, and this trend here that's moving up here, kind of this whole thing here reminds me of JP Morgan's actually. So if I bring in, this is a weekly chart and this is a daily chart, but this 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here and going up for the third wave here is very much like the banks. Not all the banks, of course, but 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and this nice third wave coming up here for this. Like I said, not all banks are the same, but it's got that sort of same pattern. But we can, the takeaway here is the bigger pattern is that we're in a bull market. It's just that the markets seem a little bit toppy in terms of the tech stocks. So if we look at Nvidia here, which is one of the ones leading to the upside, we can also see it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and still needs to move a lot higher. But at the same time, the Easter and this particular trend to the upside on the weekly chart here is seeing a little softness, and we're seeing that in Meta Platforms and Microsoft and Google are holding up really nice actually. Amazon's holding up really nice, but it is a little bit sort of toppy in this little area here, and there are different ways to count this middle move up here. I'm not that satisfied with wave 3 and 4 in here, and the reason I've got it in there for is really partly because of stocks, actually, the tech stocks, but we could certainly push this up here further and work with this. So, but in the meantime, we're just in here with this, and we need to understand this. One of my biggest fears is the market pulling back into the 5,000 here. It seems to have moved through it quite smoothly. But sometimes what happens with this is that there's 3 different types of patterns. Normally we'd get a reaction from this early stage here in this here. So if this was the 5,000 here, we would normally get, say, a pullback into this point here, and then the first high above the level, and then it it really sort of locks onto this level. We can get a more bullish pattern on that level as well, where it doesn't drop back down through here, especially when a market's in a bit of a parabolic sort of move. This is quite typical at that point. But this one that we're going through at the moment, there's only really sort of 3 patterns that I see at levels, and because either a market will come up to a level, it will drop and never come back, or it will just go straight through it and never come back, or it will push up further up here and get a bit tired eventually, and then come back and work across the level. And I kind of think this is what we've got here, because I'm seeing, the beginning of the trend here was quite strong, and it's been getting slower and slower and slower. And, just as I sort of pointed out with some of the big leading stocks here, like Nvidia, we can see it's also getting a little bit tired here as well. And then we've got, the banks that need to sort of unload, they're sort of getting a bit toppy as well. So you can see here that it was quite strong through here. And if we look at this on a daily chart, it might become a little bit more obvious here. So it's pretty much all the same really, isn't it? Because I just remembered all this little area here, creating a lot of overlapping wave structures in this little space here, and made it a little bit sort of difficult. Sorry, I haven't updated this for a while, but yeah, I was sort of thinking that we'd end up with sort of wave 5 up here, or at least wave 3 up here, and then come back and check this, But anyway, it's been sort of my fear is this is pulling back, but at the same time I try to stay with the evidence on an intraday basis and look for any particular structures that would send us to the downside. And so far, going through all of this, I just haven't seen anything. So we've just always been on the long side here, you know. This little move in here is a corrective as well, so we should push up on that, which we're going to have a look at now as well. It's probably easier to see this little picture here on the SPY actually, so that little sideways pattern here, you know, coming into Easter, I guess, you know, lower volume is this one here. So we've got this wave 3 here and 4 here, and then 1 and 2 here. I'm not sure if it's green or blue at this stage, but 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and going up 4 wave 5 here. So, or we put this wave 4 here, and we have a top here for this, and put this one here, because otherwise what the other side to the coin here is that this 5 waves up here would create, let's on the blue side anyway, would be this wave, so 3, 4 and 5 here, but I think that's just a bit too small. Do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking that we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then we put this wave 1 up here for this wave 5, and then this wave 2 comes back here for this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then we continue higher at this point. Once we've got support on top of 5, 3 here, if we get support, because this is, in terms of the trading levels, major level 1, 2 and 3 of minor degree. If we get a tested support on top of this level here, then we won't pull back to here. If it fails support here, then we will pull back here. So this will be a bit of a line in the sand. Now this takes a little bit of navigation, because at this level here we're going to get something like this here, you know, and we'll get the first high above the level and all of that sort of stuff, but it can fail at this point and come back down at this point. So yeah, we need it to make a new high either here, here or here on that to confirm that the market's going to go higher at that point. So, you know, there's different, you know, I would normally take my lead from stocks, and I can see that Google would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 here, and then 3 up here. So that's what Google's telling me, you know. This is what I'm kind of thinking at this point. But I just need to move with the evidence at each stage, and the evidence will be when this finishes here, we get an ABC pattern here, and then move up again at that point. So if I can see that this is corrective here. So anyway, I was just using the SPY because it's nice and clean and easy. You can, you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So yeah, so that's that really. So I'll put that over there. We'll go into, from 1 day, we'll go into 1000 and just pick this up here. So this is where we are here with this. So there's a couple of ways to look at this correction here. I mean, when I look at this, the SPY here, it looks like it's sort of done and dusted with wave 1 to the upside. So I'd need to take this top out here to confirm that, because otherwise I need to look at this as some sort of a little ABC here. But yeah, so if it takes that top out there, you can go long on that, but I don't want to put any long trades out before the holidays, because the volume will be there. So it's like this one here. I could put this here as the A wave down here, an A and a B wave here, because it doesn't look like 5 waves, and then a C wave up here. So an A wave, an A, B, C for the B wave. This would be 1 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to come down here. So that's what I'm thinking. But if it takes this top out here, then you're good to go to the upside at that point. It's really about this 5, 2 here. It's a minor level. Then you've got 1, 10, 20 and 30, which is subgroup 1. So a tested support on top of this level, and you would also need to have the first high above the level here, and then a move across. So it's like this one here. Once you get it, you got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level. It's like this one here as well. I think we're looking to go long on that, but that didn't that didn't occur. Now, if it does come down here, let's just play this out a little bit. If this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for wave C here of 4, and it could also be 2 as an alternative count, but this stop here, I believe that we should put it under this area here for this, so we don't want to get stopped out, but I'll leave that up to you. You could put the stop here, you could put the stop here and be out for Easter and lock in that profit there, or you could sort of ride that out a bit or take the next logical step, which would be down here for this. So I'm going to play it out and be safe at this point with it. Well, safe in terms of staying in the trend, basically. You know, I mean, mistakes are, well, there's so many mistakes in trading, isn't there? You know, but one of them is getting out too early. So anyway, that's the S&P. The NASDAQ is, we can count this up here in different ways as well. Here, it's you know, I'm not that fussed with it. I can see that it's bullish. I can also see here too that it's quite strong here, but you can see how it's sort of folding over here. And that's because of not just Nvidia on the weekly chart here, this weakness up here. It's from Meta as well, and Amazon is traveling sideways, but they're still bullish. You know, they got bullish patterns. I won't go on to the intraday. You can have a look at today's stock video on that. But you can see it's a little bit sort of tied up here on that, you know. So we need to sort of need to sort of understand that the best we can at this point. So this is on 20,000, the intraday here. So we've been looking at this as wave 3 here with an ABC for wave 4. I could go an A, B, C, D, and E and put this over to here as well, and then put this blue wave 1 up here. But so there's a couple of variations, but not that it makes a lot of difference at the moment. We can see that this here is corrective, and if this is going to be some sort of A wave here, then an A, B, and C for the B wave here, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have one more move down. Because so far it's only got 3 waves down here. So we should have one more move down. So we're keeping, I don't know why I've got, well, you can either put this, you can either get out now and protect these positions, or ride it out and keep the stop under the 18 here. And with the stop under the 18, it won't give you a particular price, but you'll wait for the first low below the level, a bit like this here. See this level here, and you got the spike here, or this one here. Wait for the first low below the level, and then put the stop under there, you know. So it'll be the same here as well, because you don't know exactly what price that is at the time, but if you're there. So yeah, this does appear to be corrective in nature, and yeah, the only other pattern that I could see, if this was going to get way out of hand here, just so you understand, is that wave 4 would come over to here, wave B would go up to here, and all of this here would be wave A here. So it would be a bigger bearish picture here. So an A wave, a B wave that can take out the top as an expanded flat, and then come all the way down, you know, taking the low out here. So it can do this here. So this is, you know, you need to be mindful of that as well. So if that's possible, that you know, and that's very real as well, by the way, because we know that it's getting a little bit tired up there. So in that case, what you could do is you could, you know, take some money off the table under this low here, for example. Because in the bigger picture, if you're trading ETFs or whatever, you might think, well, I'll ride this out. This is nothing to me, you know. But for somebody else with leverage, that's you know, that's a couple of houses or something. You know what I mean? So anyway, you'll need to manage this situation. So this is the worst case scenario. This is the second, and we could simply move up from that. We could just move straight up from here, and it's, you know, not a drama. I can see that too, you know. I mean, this could be the A wave here, and A, B, C, D, and E wave here, and then down for this here as well. So we can just go straight up on this. This is just a NASDAQ again, so I don't need to go into that. And then we come over to the Russell, and yeah, so it's very positive compared to, you know, to its big brother. So yeah, we'll just stay on course here. I don't want to get another position before Easter though, but we can just bring the stop up to this point and leave it at that for the Russell. And over to the DAX. So this is a daily chart for the DAX. So we've got in the bigger picture, we've got this as 1 and 2 over here, and 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then we're going up for the third wave here. So this is very much like the S&P as well here in terms of the same count. Okay, so once again in here, the wave 4 that I got in here is a little bit sort of small, a little bit iffy, you know. So I know where my mistakes are, where they possibly are, but I just need to move step by step with all of this, you know. But just give you a bit of a look at the bigger picture. So we're in a bullish move, and we'll be up at above the 20,000 at some point. We want this wave 3 here to be longer than wave 1. And let's just check on that at the moment. So just roughly here, so just give you a bit of an idea. Normally it's another 60 odd % higher, so we're not even there yet, you know. I mean, this should be up here somewhere, that's what I'm thinking. And this wave 3 is not even in here yet, but I have to go with the most conservative view at the time, you know, as we go. But anyway, we'll just, you know, we've got long positions in this third wave here and through here, so we'll just keep managing that. Just thought I'd have a look at the bigger picture today, and over to this here. So we've got 1 and 2 here for this, so we've got a few positions in here, part profit here, the stops up here now. We haven't added to the position, so because I thought it might have been dragged here a little bit, so I haven't done okay, but haven't done them, you know, it hasn't been perfect. But yeah, it's a bit tricky sometimes making decisions, you know, in the here and now. They're not always right, but at least we stayed in the trend. That's one thing. So here we've got 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. So we'll see some sort of slowdown. I know that the UK has got Monday and Friday closed. I'm not sure about Germany though. But this should be something like this. It's not going to be, that can be, you can sharpen this up. So if you just, wherever that top comes in there, you know, this little move up here will be about the size of this little wave 1 in here. So, you know, it can pull back to the 38.2%. So, well, what I normally do is take the wave 4, 1 lesser degree, and the 38.2%. So that's kind of where it can come back to. So if you want to continue your journey up here, then you'll just look at this as a buying opportunity back into this particular space here for this. And the 500 is important. The 18 is not important, but the 500 here is important. So we're going to see this sort of play out for a little play here. This wave 1 here, we've got the extension in wave 3, so we can expect, just take this with a pinch of salt as well, but the length of wave 1 here, we could just grab that and put it over here in this wave 4 business here, and that will give us this top over here, roughly speaking, and then this wave 4 over here for this. And this will be a classic trading levels pattern. This is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then there'll be an ABC pattern here, and then we'll go up again. So in a nutshell, it's this pattern here. So we're just here at the moment. You know, sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's above it, sometimes it's on it, you know, all of those sort of things. But that's the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and across the 500 here, 5 being the second strongest number. Sometimes these don't pull back to the wave 4, 1 lesser degree. Sometimes you sort of see them that they're on some sort of, you know, some sort of angle to the upside here. You know, it could be like this and further up at that point, you know, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, it's always good to have the worst of it there. We're going to bring that up there further. At least we get up to, you know, I'm trying to get up to this point here somewhere to get this off. Okay, that's all good at that point. And then we're over to the FTSE, and like I said, the FTSE I think is closed on the Friday and the Monday, like Australia. So in this case here, we've been looking at 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and I can get a little 1 and 2 in here, and now we're seeing the third. Now we're seeing the spring unload to the upside. Now, obviously, the old high and such a big number here will, you know, spoil the party a little bit and slow it down and those sort of things, but it should continue to edge higher unless we've got this as some sort of E wave needs to be, some sort of E wave needs to be over here for this or something, and this is not 1 and 2 here, but yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So there's no need to sell. If you you know, there's going to be problems around this area here. If you're over leveraged, then obviously this, you know, this number's the place to take it, but we should be just continuing to move up through here, and we'll move up to the next levels, 1, 2, and 3 here of group 1. So if we look at this on the, I think on the 1000 ticks, and we'll pick it up from this wave 2 here. I've got, I'm going to bring these over here so I can use them a bit later. I'm a bit of a messy chartist, but so this wave 2 here to this wave 3 up here is what we're looking at. Okay, so we've got blue 1 and blue 2. We're going up to blue 3 here, then blue 4, and then blue 5. Between blue 2 and blue 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we've got green 1, green 2, green 3, green 4, and green 5, all the little green men there, and that's where we're at the moment. So we don't really need to take, we need to sort of be up here further. I mean, these wave 4s will slow the market down, and the 8 will slow it down as well, but I think we just leave the stop out of the way and just continue to ride this out. We won't add to any positions at this point. We might add on this one here. We could trade this one up to this one. It's not huge, so it's only this blue one here is small, so this blue wave 5 will be small. I think this one could do us quite well from 4 to 5 up here for that. We'll see. Anyway, we'll keep working through it, but we'll stay long, but just letting you know that there's going to be a headache in here, and we won't always get the count right within all of this space, but you know, we'll just hang in there with it. So that's where that is. Kind of also in line with the banks as well, in a way, with the US banks. Anyway, that's that. So yeah, we're talking this week about this wave 4 here, and yesterday we're looking for wave 1 and back for wave 2. So we're going up into wave 3 here now. So we can put all that there, so there'll be 3, 4, 5 for this little third wave up here for that, and the fourth wave here. I don't know how sticky that's going to get in this area here because of the holidays, you know, but at least you're aware of where we are in the bigger picture, and I just think chill on that and we'll be fine. Okay, so I've just put this here today, but I'll just move that for a moment. So we've been looking at this as wave 3 and 4 here, and we've got this as a corrective. We're just starting to take out the top here now, so that's just there. So this has been quite chirpy as well, actually, compared to the other markets. Now, I've been counting from the low here of 1 and 2, and I can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and I can see we've got another 5 wave. I can see we're getting these 5 waves here, but my problem has been that we've got overlapping wave structures all the time, you know. So that's why I've gone 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and I should be going, this is 1 and 2 here, and then I got this one overlapping, and so, you know, conservatively I've put this here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here. This would be 1, 2. That needs 1, 2. That still needs to go up higher. But the thing is that I don't have a lot of confidence in this particular count here. You know, I could take it. I could lift it up further. So when I look at the FTSE, for example, because this market will follow the FTSE, I don't have that there now, will go up further. So I just think you know, if you wanted to take some money off from this old high here or this high here, then that's fine at that point. But I think we'll be going up higher. I just don't have the count, you know. I mean, for all I know, I could put wave 1 and 2 here as well. You know, that's the other thing. I don't think we need to get out, you know. I think we've got, you know, it takes courage, and you may want to take the money, and that's fine. But, yeah, I just think we should be up here somewhere, you know. So I'm just going to put that up there, and I'm just going to put that up there a little bit higher. Let's just see. I mean, the worst thing that could probably happen here is some sort of, I mean, once it gets to 9, I think it's finished with the 8 here. That's the thing. This is 1 and 2. That's 1 and 2 and 3. So this will be 1 and 2. This is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave. This will be the fourth. So we're going to see some sort of little dance across the 7, 9 here. I don't think we need to do anything. I just think we'll just sit it out. I want to see it stretch out a little bit, because if these are all 1s and 2s here, then we should see this stretch out. So don't worry about the count. We're heading in the right direction. We can we can move this stop up to here, but I don't want to move it up to this number here until we've got support on the next level, you know. So on the 9 up here, then we can move it up to here. And then we also need to try to understand that how are we going to get through this number here? Because if the FTSE is going to move through it quite nicely, then maybe, you know, we should be looking up here, higher up here. So we won't make any decisions. We'll just stay here at the moment. You could lift the stop up a bit to whatever break-even point that you've got, and let's just sit it out and see what occurs. Yeah, all right, I'll leave it at that. Okay, cheers.